I'm Steve.
And I'm Les.
And this is another episode of Tabletop Tasting Sip and Play. Les, what did we play?
Today we played the 2 to 5 player game AI Space Puzzle. This game is a nutty little game where one person takes on the role of a broken AI that's trying to communicate with astronauts on a space station on how to repair the ship to avoid catastrophe. So what's neat about it is that the AI, there's a book with a series of missions in it, and each mission tells you how many clues the AI can give. And they've got a series of colors or symbols to effectively communicate with the human players. What's neat though is that they may only have 4 symbols that they can use, or 5 symbols, and they've got to tell the other player what room each astronaut needs to be on the ship and which color key they need to be using within that room in order to repair the ship. And it's played over a number of rounds determined by the mission that you're on, and it is a fun little chaotic, super frustrating but super satisfying game. When you successfully reveal your clues and the other players figure it out, it's a magical special thing. When you can't communicate effectively, there's nothing quite as frustrating as that in the world. But I really enjoy AI Space Puzzle. Steve, what do you think of the game?
Yeah, so this game, like you said, it's quirky, it's funny. So the AI cannot speak.
At all.
All you can do is show the symbols, which at the beginning is actually not too bad because you get color symbols and you've got like little check marks. So say, okay, you got this one right.
It progressively gets harder quickly.
It sure does, and you get less symbols to use, which just makes it much more difficult. It's a quirky little game. As long as you've started from the beginning and you kind of work through with people, you kind of get, okay, I start to get their wavelength, and I think I know where they're going, and you try to set things up so that, okay, this is the board, okay, so I've got one here, and I've got a little piece next to it.
I got a little nuclear symbol and a satellite dish, and I hope you're moving the right person I want you to move either into or out of that particular room. But what's great about this game is it does play nice and quick, so it's only about 20 minutes, and you know, if you got 3 or 4 people, everyone takes a turn being the AI, and then the other players can talk it out what they think the AI is trying to tell them. Super fun little game. Steve, what have you brought to pair with it?
Okay, so part of the game is that the AI needs to lead you to the right room to get the key to be able to get off the space station or into the right room of the space station. I love the story of this game. That's kind of what kind of hooked me. And I would love to see it as a movie. It would be so fun. So the bottle we have enjoyed throughout the game has a really good story. Let's go to the bottle pop and then we'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
All the way from Kentucky.
Ooh, not bad, not bad.
Not bad. Real cork.
A real cork, I appreciate
A little stubby one though.
Yeah, a little short and stubs.
A little stubby, yeah.
Get rid of that thing.
We don't need it anyways. Okay. All right. Let's have a little sip.
I like the glug. Ooh, I like the color too.
Yeah. Straight bourbon whiskey.
It smells like bourbon.
Yeah, sure does. So this is barrel strength. So I thought that it would have a lot more, like the alcohol hitting you in the nose. But it doesn't. Like, it's got a really nice nose to it.
It smells quite nice. I like it. All
right, let's get into it. Oh, yeah.
It's nice. It's very spicy for a bourbon.
Yeah, so that's probably a bit to do with the ABV on it. But you know what? Like, that's really nice. It's got all those caramels. It's got all the nice stuff from a good bourbon. Yeah,
it does, but yeah, really it's got those spices that go with it, which I find quite nice. It's got great mouthfeel. Tastes quite nice.
Yeah, it's like, whenever I think of that, I always think of like grandma's cooking, making a nice apple pie. She's got the caramel in there. She's got the cinnamon, those baking spices, and just the right amount of love.
Grandma knows what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite nice.
That's really nice. Yeah, that's going to go well as we play through our game. All right, so there you have it. We popped it open. This is the Larceny Barrel Proof bottle. And so why did I choose this to go along with the game? Well, if you look at the front, Les, you can see that there's a key. And in fact, there's a key on
Keys all over this thing.
this thing, yeah. So that's kind of why I went with this bottle in part. I also do love bourbon. I just really love it. And I really love weeded bourbon, which this is. So here's the story that goes along with this. So a U.S. Treasury agent who was supposed to guard a bonded warehouse. So he works for the government, but he has a key to get himself in, and he can walk around and make sure that it's guarded. No one's messing things up. They're not doing anything that would take them out of that bonded compliance. And so his name was John F. Fitzgerald. And so he had really access to all of like the greatest bourbon
access to all the greatest bourbon out there. That sounds like a great job.
I know, really? It sounds awesome. And so he sees the opportunity. So he had the keys, he'd go in there at night, and basically he stole from some of those barrels.
That's not
so
good.
He'd go around and he would then thieve from barrels, but he really found some spectacular ones. Because what happened is...
Over time.
Yeah. What happened is he figured out which barrels were really good, and then so they went to dump those barrels to then put them in the bottle, and they're like, this barrel's a little light. And so he had drank some of them, like quite a bit out of them, right? And so he really found some like exceptional barrels. And so this became known as the Fitzgerald barrels, and later became bottled and sold. I'm sure after they had a really good talking with him
No doubt.
about you cannot drink all of our profits, and our best bourbon, right? But it became known as the Fitzgerald barrels, or as we actually know it as Old Fitzgerald.
That's
what
old
it is.
Fitzgerald, what's he getting up to again?
Yeah, so that's what it became bottled as. And in fact, you can actually still find Old Fitzgerald on the market now. So this bottle is uncut. It's straight from the barrel, barrel proof at a 125.1 proof.
Yeah, that's
so
why it's probably,
really
I mentioned
high.
before in the tasting that it was so, like, there's a lot of spice to it. There's a lot of flavor.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're getting out of it, because there really isn't a lot, there's no rye actually in it.
Really?
So you're not getting the spice from that. It's 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So it's actually pretty high as far as the wheat value is. So they call it, it's a wheated bourbon, right? So it really just kind of tames the whole thing down and just makes it really nice. So today they now distill it and they make it at Heaven Hill in Louisville, Kentucky. So in the game, you have to find the keys to be able to get off the space station safely. Well, Mr. Fitzgerald, he had the key and he did not waste an opportunity, right? So some, would call it stealing, which it was, but it really became a really cool story, and it's dastardly. Like, come on, you can't just go in, have the keys to the place, and steal all the best whiskey. You got to save some for us. Come on, man. Anyways, so nonetheless, he made a name for himself, and that's why they call it larceny. Because what they came up with, the formulation for what goes into this, is based on those barrels that he stole from.
Well, I love that story, Steve.
It's pretty cool, eh?
And I love playing AI space puzzle, and I enjoy drinking this beverage.
It was so good.
So I think we've learned a very valuable lesson today.
I think we have.
And that is, if you're going to play the 2 to 5 player game, AI space puzzle, you want to pair it with.
Well, why wouldn't you pair it with the stolen goods? Larceny Barrel Proof from Louisville, Kentucky.
My name is Les.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Tabletop Tasty.
That it is.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Larceny is quite nice.
It is very good.
So what'd they do to the guy?
I don't know. Actually, they don't say. But the funny, like,
They probably shot and killed that man.
You know what? Like,
he thieved a lot of whiskey.